Building a business is rarely linear, especially when you are building something deeply personal. Self doubt, pressure, and the mental load often stay hidden behind the success stories. So, today's conversation is all about what it really takes to stay grounded, confident, and at the same time, mentally resilient while building something meaningful as a woman founder. So, hey, dear listeners, welcome back to another powerful episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host, Avik, and today I am joined by a lovely guest. Please welcome Nelly Cools. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here. I'm really grateful to be on your podcast.
Amazing. Great to have you today. And dear listeners, before we delve deep into our discussion today, I'll quickly love to introduce you with Nelly. So, Nelly is a global entrepreneur and co founder of Intimate Queen, a purpose driven laundry and wellness brand, creating plant based, wellness led pieces designed for women's comfort and confidence. That's amazing, right? And in this episode, we are talking about the real founder journey, building self belief through uncertainty, and how comfort and care shape women's confidence, and what it takes to expand globally while also staying mentally aligned. So, I'll not take much of your time, dear listeners. Let's get started. Welcome to the show again.
Hi.
Hi. So Nelly, like before Intimate Queen existed, what was happening internally for you? Like, what pushed you for the digital marketing into building something so personal and also at the same time purpose driven?
So, Avik, it's been a beautiful journey that I had. I would rather call it as a non linear journey, quite non linear, from architecture to urban planning to
Mm,
exploring music business in the US, of learning facets about digital marketing, and starting my entrepreneurship from US. When I opened the agency in the US, I expanded it to India as well. It's been 14 and a half years for me in the same field. And I'll come back to how Intimate Queen started or why I started Intimate Queen, but eventually, landed to starting something with my sister, along with my sister. She's the founder of Intimate Queen, and I'm the co founder of Intimate Queen. So, as I said, my journey has been quite non linear, but let me tell you something. What ties all of it together is a deep belief in listening to myself, probably the inner voice. Maybe there was a supernatural power who was preparing me to to become who I am as a person today and what I'm doing today. While I was going through my journey, agency of 14 and a half years of experience, working with brands, level companies and everything, uh, I realized that there is something which is, uh, a self fulfillment or self contentment. And I realized that, is there a way I can create? I've been creating it for others. Let me create something meaningful and solve a everyday problem in women's life. It is not by an accident that this whole
mm,
episode happened. It was more of a personal journey. And, for me, one question of a piece of clothing that everyone wears all day next to skin, why not transforming it into wellness, or let me call it as a skincare wellness product? So, So it started with these questions where me and my sister, we both started thinking about it and, started questioning about it. And as you know, in India, when I started from India, this particular brand, uh,
Hmm.
it's still a taboo to talk about these things.
Exactly.
Women, even in a room, sitting with 10 other women, would not discuss what discomfort one goes through down there. They're not open about discussing, or probably, I would say there's a shame attached to it. And this kept us thinking that maybe we could create something which is we are wearing every day, and why not
Mm.
transform it into a wellness product. So that's how Intimate Queen started. And the whole point was to create something meaningful, solving a problem for women, and of course, um, supporting women or some in some or the other way.
Exactly, I truly agree with you. And I have to say that, I mean, that inner shift is very, very important because many founders feel it long before they can obviously explain it. But like you mentioned about in India, it's still a taboo. I totally agree. And I'm not so sure. I mean, I feel like we are privileged that we are in the main cities and proper upbringings we had. But I'm not so sure, like, what about the tier tier three cities as well, like how things happen there. I mean, there's a belief that that confidence comes after success, right? So from your journey, what do you think, like, people misunderstood about the confidence and the self belief?
Yeah, Avik, I think it's an interesting question. Yes, of course, there was self doubt as well, not just external validation. There were times when I thought that I'm not good enough. There were times when I thought, can I do this? Do you think I would be able to do this? A lot of questions. And I think we women, do overthink. I remember when I was doing my urban planning masters and architecture during those days, when I started the companies, the multiple companies that had been, started from the US and all that, I remember people calling me, my colleagues, the students that I studied with, they called me and they laughed at me over on the phone call as if, what am I doing? Like,
Mm.
are you mad? You've you've left urban planning, you've left architecture. How can you do something like this? And there were a lot of eyes that were sort of, I felt that they were looking at me with curiosity, with shame, with so many things. Apparently today in India or all across the world, it's very normal to learn something else and to become something, to pursue a career in a different field.
True.
But in my olden days, it wasn't like this. It was
Mm.
very different, wherein wherein we used to do become a doctor, would, medicine would study a doctor, an engineer would become an engineer. So yes, there was definitely, I had issues with that, but apparently, and of course, apart from this, proving yourself was the worst thing, as if you're trying to prove your worth to the world. However, I think the more I evolved as a human being, I realized that, you know, it's important to be who you are, to appreciate you as uh, who you are in present, and be authentic, be true to yourself, and think about work on your deliverables and integrity. I think that's something which is very important to accept, in anybody's life who's transforming probably in their age. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, it definitely it reframes about the confidence as something that we practice, but not something like we earn. So let's talk about like how that shows up in what you build. So like Intimate Queen, it focuses on comfort, care, wellness. Why do you believe that these elements are so deeply connected to a woman's confidence and at the same time with the mental well-being as well?
So, human bodies are always evolving, be it hormones, perimenopause, menopause, or microbiome level. Every thing starts with the basic airflow, right? So, that's how Intimate Queen, I think there are times there when we were doing a survey and when we were speaking to these women, listening to these women, we realized that constantly adjusting your innerwear or constantly going through rashes, constantly going through infections, and not being able to discuss openly with your closest women circle and not talking about it openly definitely harms or probably affects the confidence in a woman. For example, a woman who is is does not is a woman who is, so I think care, comfort, wellness definitely connects with women and mental well-being. It is one of the most important thing for a woman.
I totally get it. Yes, you mentioned it correctly. Like the confidence. Suppose if I have to take an example, very small example, like when we were in the schools, right? It's a very normal thing. A boy or a girl fell in love at first sight, right?
Mhm.
And what happens is for the boy and for the girl, they love to look good, love to be presentable and all. But if some flaws they have inside, somehow their confidence level goes down, and that impacts when they present themselves. So obviously, it's a very, I mean, I don't know, it's a very silly example I given. So and comfort care and wellness are obviously foundational because a woman's body is where confidence is, I'd say, either supported or maybe quietly eroded day by day. So when something feels restrictive, unsafe, disconnected from her
Absolutely.
needs,
Absolutely.
uh,
I would rather say that, when I entered this space in India, I realized how much intimate discomfort is still a taboo.
exactly.
As I said, women rarely talk openly about irritation, rashes, or pain, and there's a lot of silence and shame around it.
Yes.
And I feel, especially because women are dealing with long days, hormonal changes, menopause, perimenopause, and comfort
Yeah.
definitely directly affects their mental well-being. And when body feels supported, the mind feels lighter.
Yes.
And this resonates across the world, whether India, US, UK, women are all same. It shows that every woman everywhere, that women everywhere share the same need for care and dignity.
Exactly. And in terms of the discussion today, I definitely say that when the body feels supported, respected, and at ease, I'd definitely mention at ease, our system, our nervous system, it softens. And obviously, confidence becomes the natural thing, right? So, confidence becomes a natural state rather than something she has to perform or prove or something like that. So, right. So it's definitely really true. So thank you so much for sharing that. And on a practical note, like when the pressure is high, or maybe expansion is happening, or expectations are growing day by day, what helps you to stay mentally resilient and aligned? Mhm.
I usually slow down.
Okay.
I journal.
Mm.
I meditate. Very important for me. When I slow down, I think that is when I hear the inner voice that
Mm.
helps me to make the decision, and I'm not taking that decision in a hush or rush.
Mm.
That slowing down really helps.
True.
And then listening to the inner self. So that is what helps me when the pressure is high, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Obviously, the balance between ambition, inner alignment is very, very rare and essential also. So growth is never a smooth thing. So so your journey hasn't been a linear. So how have the detours or the challenges shaped the leader that you are today?
I think each phase of this journey, each phase taught me something different. I would say trusting myself a bit more every time, probably structure, creativity, empathy, and probably listening to my own voice. Um,
Hmm.
and you evolve as a human being throughout
Hmm.
your journey, and then you realize that you need to just trust yourself, listen to yourself. So I think this is what each phase has taught me.
Mhm.
Of course, I felt disconnected. There were times when I was not ready for it. There were times when I felt, will I be able to do it? You know?
Hmm.
But when I look back, as I
Hmm.
said earlier, probably, the it was a master plan which was preparing me to be the person who I am today. And now it feels so purposeful. Um, I would like to add something more of it to this. I would say that and this is for the listeners,
Mhm.
non-linear journeys actually make you more stronger. There is a vision. Your vision gets broadened if you are in that phase of life where it's a non-linear structure. It um, broadens your vision. It gives you a different horizon. That's something which is and it makes you stronger in decision making, in taking control, in creating the structures. So it's important that you know that you embrace this journey and learn something from it. And I'm sure at the end of the day you would say that this journey has really helped me, and it has given me a different horizon.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Trust is something that I'd say many founders are still learning to build. And I want to leave listeners with something grounding that so this is something very important to listen to. Dear listeners, do let us know like what's your story, what you think, what helps you trust yourself when the path forward is not clear. Would love to listen from you, dear listeners. And yeah, it will be a great learning for all of us, I would say. For a woman who is listening, who is building something of her own and quietly questioning herself, what is the one reminder that you would want her to hear right now?
Just one line: believe yourself
Mm.
and listen to your inner voice. That's about it.
Perfect. That's too deep. And so dear listeners, like before we move, I would love to share something. What we discussed today, like the takeaway should be it's the mental resilience. It grows when ambition and the self care stop competing with each other, and at the same time they are supporting each other. So it's a great way to learn, listen, and focus also. Do let us know what's your thoughts as well. And so, Nelly, like, where can listeners learn more about Intimate Queen, about your work, anything?
Listeners can definitely log on to www.intimatequeen.com. We have our Instagram page as well. They can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/Nelly Cools, NELIKWLS, or they can email me at NELIKWLS@intimatequeen.com.
Amazing. Amazing. So, dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links, details, everything into the show notes for your easy reference so that you can easily reach out to Nelly. And if today's conversation resonated with you, remember this, that your path doesn't need to look linear to be powerful. So the growth often happens quietly inside and before it ever shows on the outside. So with this hope, this is your host Avik and this is Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Avik.